Imina 85 na legislature in Guahan is back from recess. I'm going to acknowledge the Majority Leader. Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized right now.
Sijasmasi, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have exhausted all items on the session agenda. I'd like to make a motion that we move to the third reading voting file.
On that motion, without any objections,
Madam Speaker, if I may, notwithstanding the rules, if we could move back to motions so I could put those 4 nominees on that have been pending.
Madam Speaker, I believe you have to dispense of the initial motion first.
we'll go ahead and dispense of the voting file first. On that motion, are there any objections? There's an objection?
Yes, because these would have to be put onto the voting file, Madam Speaker.
I understand.
I would move that we go to motions, put these nominees on the voting file, and then we can vote on all of them together.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Please state your point of order.
You
Vice
must
Speaker.
dispense of this first
I
motion.
understand. On that, are there any objections? There is an objection. All those who want to go to the voting file signify by raising your hand. Third reading voting file. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, me, right? Huh? Yeah. Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, we are now on the voting file. Consideration of the daily file, Bill number 181-35 COR. Clerks, please read the title.
Bill number 181-35 COR, as substituted on the floor, introduced by Tina Rose Munya-Barnes, Amanda L. Shelton, William M. Castro. An act to add a new Article 13 to Chapter 1 of Division 1, Title 5, Guam Code Annotated, relative to creating a Guam War Claims Fund to compensate adjudicated claims of the greatest generation of Guam for the atrocities suffered during the World War II occupation of Guam.
Madam Clerk, put for vote, roll call.
Senator Castro. Senator Castro, aye. Senator Lee. Senator Lee, aye. Senator Marsh-Titano. Senator Marsh-Titano, aye. Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, nay. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, pass. Speaker Munya-Barnes.
Hongen.
Speaker Munya-Barnes, aye. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, aye. Senator Perez. Senator Perez, aye. Senator Rangel. Senator Rangel, aye. Senator San Augustine. Senator San Augustine, aye. Senator Shelton. Senator Shelton, aye. Senator Taitagui. Senator Taitagui, pass. Senator Pito Terlahi. Senator Pito Terlahi, aye. Senator Therese Terlahi. Senator Therese Terlahi, aye. Senator Torres. Senator Torres, nay. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, pass. Senator Taitagui. Senator Taitagui, pass. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, pass, nay. Senator Titagui. Senator Titagui, aye.
Bill number 181-35 COR received 12 ayes, 3 nays. Bill number 181-35 COR is duly passed by this body. Bill number 216-35 COR. Clerks, please read the title.
Bill number 216-35 COR, as amended on the floor, introduced by Joe S. San Augustine, Tina Rose Munya Barnes, Jose Pito Terlahi, an act to add a new subsection M5 to Section 1 of Chapter 5, Public Law 35-36, the General Appropriations Act of 2020, relative to establishing the rate of compensation for Guam Police Department civilian volunteer police reservists.
Madam Clerk, please roll call.
Senator Castro. Senator Castro, aye. Senator Lee. Senator Lee, aye. Senator Marsh-Titano. Senator Marsh-Titano, aye. Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, aye. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, aye. Speaker Munya Barnes.
Hungan.
Speaker Munya Barnes, aye. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, aye. Senator Perez. Senator Perez, aye. Senator Rangel. Senator Rangel, aye. Senator San Augustine. Senator San Augustine, aye. Senator Shelton. Senator Shelton, aye. Senator Titagui. Senator Titagui, aye. Senator Pito Terlahi. Senator Pito Terlahi, aye. Senator Therese Terlahi. Senator Therese Terlahi, aye. Senator Torres. Senator Torres, aye.
Bill number 216-35 COR received 15 ayes, 0 nays. Bill number 216-35 COR is duly passed by this body. Bill number 249-35 COR. Clerks, please read the title.
Bill number 249-35 COR, as amended on the floor, introduced by Kelly Marsh-Titano, Tina Rose Munya Barnes, Amanda L. Shelton, Jose Pito Terlahi, Clinton E. Rangel, Joe S. San Augustine, Luis B. Munya, an act to add a new section 85102M of Chapter 85, Title 5, Guam Code Annotated, relative to designating the Guam Council on the Arts and Humanities Agency as the state arts agency for Guam, and to add a new section 851N and amend section 852A-2C of Article 2, Chapter 8, Title 1, Guam Code Annotated, relative to defining the term works of art in the Arts in Public Buildings Law, and to allowing the use of money collected therein for the 13th Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Senator Castro. Senator Castro, aye. Senator Lee. Senator Lee, aye. Senator Marsh-Titano. Senator Marsh-Titano, aye. Senator Moylan. Senator Moylan, nay. Senator Munya. Senator Munya, aye. Speaker Munya Barnes.
Hungan.
Speaker Munya Barnes, aye. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, pass. Senator Perez. Senator Perez, aye. Senator Rangel. Senator Rangel, aye. Senator San Augustine. Senator San Augustine, aye. Senator Shelton. Senator Shelton, aye. Senator Titagui. Senator Titagui, nay. Senator Pito Terlahi. Senator Pito Terlahi, aye. Senator Therese Terlahi. Senator Therese Terlahi, aye. Senator Torres. Senator Torres, aye. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, pass. Vice Speaker Nelson. Vice Speaker Nelson, aye.
Bill 249-35 COR received 13 ayes, 2 nays. Bill number 249-35 COR is duly passed by this body. On the nomination of James M. Casalo to serve as a member of the Contractors License Board, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Mr. James M. Casalio is duly received unanimous consent. Mr. James M. Casillo is duly passed by this body, confirmed by this body. Senator Therese Terlahi, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would move that we go back to motions in order to place 4 nominations to boards that have been pending since the first day of session. If you recall, they were not allowed to be heard that day because they were not uploaded to the website. So I would like to go back to motions to move that they be put on the agenda and that we vote on these today in order for these boards to be able to utilize
Senator,
these members.
on the motion, can you do a notwithstanding, please, to go back to, you have to do a notwithstanding motion. Vice Speaker, Majority Leader Talina Nelson, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, there are confirmations awaiting to be put on today's session agenda. I'd like to make the move to go to motions notwithstanding. Notwithstanding, I'd like to make a motion to go back to motions.
On that motion, is there an objection? We are in motions. Senator Therese Terlahi, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to move the nomination of Mr. Robert D. Camacho as a member of the Guam Parole Board, as reported out by the Committee on Health, Tourism, Historic Preservation, Land, and Justice. With a recommendation to do pass, I'd like to move that to be put on the legislative concurrence.
On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Senator Terlahi, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to move the nomination of Dr. Paul Palmas as a member of the Veterinary Medicine Representative to the Guam Board of Allied Health, with a recommendation to do pass from the Committee on Health, Tourism, Historic Preservation, Land, and Justice.
Senator Therese, can you give me that name again?
Dr. Paul B. Palmas, P-O-M-E-S, as a member of the Guam Board of Allied Health.
On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Senator Chalayi, you are still recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to move the nomination of Dr. David Atienza as a member of the Guam Historic Preservation Board. He is the archaeologist representative. Again, with the recommendation to do pass from the Committee on Health, Tourism, Historic Preservation, Land, and Justice.
On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries.
The-
Senator Chalayi, you still recognized.
Thank you. I have one more, and that is to move the nomination of Nicole A. Calvo as a member, the alternate Guam Historic Preservation Board member. She is the Chamorro culture representative to that board, with the recommendation to do pass from the Committee on Health, Tourism, Historic Preservation, Land, and Justice.
So again, that's Nicole A. Calvo as a member of the Chamorro Culture, the Guam Historic Preservation Review Board, and she would be the Chamorro Culture alternate. On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Are there any other motions? Senator Therese Chalayi, I will recognize you at this time to move us to legislative concurrence, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. If motions are exhausted, then yes, I move that we go to legislative concurrence, and I would move that the nomination, again, of
On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Senator Chalayi, you are recognized.
Madam Speaker, would you accept well, I'll make a motion for the four again, for the nomination of Robert Camacho to be a member of the Guam Parole Board, that be placed on the voting file.
On the motion for the nomination of Robert D. Camacho as a member of the Guam Parole Board into the voting file, any objections? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Chalayi, you recognize.
Yes, I move the nomination of Dr. Paul B. Palmas to the Guam Board of Allied Health that be also put on the voting file.
Colleagues, on the nomination of Dr. Paul B. Palmas to serve as the veterinary medicine representative to the Guam Board of Allied Health Examiners. On that motion, to the voting file. On that motion, no objections. Motion carries. Senator Chalayi, you're still recognized.
Thank you. I'd move the nomination of Dr. David Atienza as a member of the Guam Historic Preservation Board, archaeologist representative, to the voting file.
On that motion for the nomination of David Atienza, PhD, to serve as a member of the Guam Historic Preservation Review Board as the archaeologist representative, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Senator Chalayi, you're still recognized.
I'd move the nomination of Nicole A. Calvo as the alternate member, Chamorro Culture, to the Guam Historic Preservation Board, to the voting file, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Chalayi. On the nomination of Nicole A. Calvo as a member of the Guam Historic Preservation Review Board, this would be the Chamorro Culture alternate to the voting file. Are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Yes. I'm going to ask the Vice Speaker. Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, can you please take us to the voting file?
Madam Speaker, I make a motion to move into the voting file for the voting of the confirmations.
On that motion, without any objections, motion carries. On the nomination of Robert D. Camacho to serve as a member of the Guam Parole Board, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Robert D. Camacho received unanimous support and is duly confirmed by this body. On the nomination of Dr. Paul B. Palmas to serve as a member of the Guam Board of Allied Health Examiners, which is the veterinary medicine representative. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Dr. Paul B. Palmas received unanimous support and is duly confirmed by this body. On the nomination of David Atenza, PhD, to serve as a member of the Guam Historic Preservation Review Board as the Discipline for Archaeologists representative, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Dr. David Atenza received unanimous support and is duly confirmed by this body. On the nomination of Nicole A. Calvo to serve as a member of the Guam Historic Preservation Review Board, to serve as the Discipline Chamorro Culture alternate, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Nicole A. Calvo received majority support and is duly confirmed by this body. At this time, my colleagues, I will open the floor for a brief extension of remarks. Anyone wishing? Legislative Secretary Shelton, you are recognized. And then Mary Torres.
Situus Masi, Madam Speaker, I'd just like to take the opportunity to wish all the people of Guam a very Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. I'd also like to extend our gratitude to them for coming along in this legislative process with us, for being a part of everything that we do here, and for giving us the opportunity to serve. And so during this holiday season, I know all of our colleagues here are very, very thankful to be in the position that we are and be able to do the work that we do. So Situus Masi. And I'd also like to take the opportunity to wish some of our colleagues a very happy birthday. This month, we have Senator Regine Bisco Lee, who celebrated her birthday on December 14th.
Yay.
Happy birthday. And today we celebrate Senator Mary Torres. Happy birthday. And we will celebrate in a couple of days Senator Kelly Marsh Taitino's birthday as well. Happy birthday. Situus Masi and Merry Christmas to all.
Situus Masi, Legislative Secretary Shelton. I have Senator Mary Torres, Senator Tello Taitigui, Senator Marsh Taitino, Senator Paris. Senator Mary Torres, you are recognized.
Situus Masi, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are at one of the most beautiful and celebrated seasons of the year, the season of light and hope and the birth of our Savior, a season of promise and wishes for prosperity in the coming year. Christmas is also the season of giving and of recognizing and being charitable to the marginalized members in our community. Many of us struggle with wanting to do more and to give more than we are capable of handling. We struggle with disappointing our children who innocently dream of receiving gifts of others and of others who hope for our generosity. I feel that the rush to pass Bill 181 today comes with the same anxiety to fulfill a mission against a time clock, because our World War II survivors are dying and need to be made whole for the atrocities that they experienced during World War II on Guam. I remember very vividly the day I helped my mother fill out her statement of claims to the Settlement Commission, hearing the atrocities that she witnessed, that no person, let alone a young girl of 12, should ever have to endure. And as we submitted the claim, I remember having hope that soon the wheels of justice might finally turn in our people's favor. Restitution, Madam Speaker, is an avenue to justice for many victims. It's a way of making good for the pain and suffering our World War II survivors endured during the occupation of Guam. But even in our justice system, restitution is a balance between what is owed to a victim and what one can reasonably be expected to repay. It cannot work any other way. Bill 181 appears to come with all promise and no contingency. It should be our duty to deliberate and to ask questions. For example, what are the contingencies and possible consequences of paying out the war claims today using local government money funds? There are many issues with this bill, Madam Speaker, beginning with the lifting of the local fund cap, and so many questions about how this claim against the federal government is going to be administered locally. What will happen to the funds, for example, that are already held by the federal government? Why are some of us not entitled to get the information? I don't feel entitled. I'm sure no one in here, no one would ever want to regress to the old politics of shutting out voices, of overpowering the underrepresented, and of strong arming just because you can. I know that's not what we want to do, and I pray that this isn't the precedents that we've set. My mother, Lourdes Camacho, Guam's first First Lady, is 91 years old now. So I will have to explain to her that I don't know whether she'll get her war claim check from our local government, or if she does, when, or how she's going to go about that. I don't have those answers. Restitution is not easy. It is never easy, nor can it make up for the pain and suffering that our greatest generation endured. And yet, I remain convinced that it should be pursued. But I also am convinced that it should be in the right way, the way our people expect of us. And this is why, Madam Speaker, I voted the way I did today. I voted the way I felt I had to vote. I pray that with the new year nearly upon us, that this body can move forward together, always remembering this, the way that the people expect of us. Sa malago na bay sangan pagu, sa pagu na tempon gupod minagov, hudiseha para todos hamzu zani familan mizu, amano man manasaga gwinigit sa Guam pat tanolago, hudiseha para hamzu esperanza, gwinaidza, zan paz, para y familia. Viva Noche Buena, zan minagov tinalaiken isakan. Si Jesus Masi. Madam Speaker, put respeto.
Thank you, Senator Torres. Senator Tello Tadigui, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to give brief remarks. As I reflect on the end of 2019, I ask the people of Guam, has the quality of life gotten better? Are our streets safer? Are our children's test scores making the grade? Are our hardworking government of Guam employees and retirees happy with their new health insurance coverage? Is our hospital still in the state of crisis? Are our roads being repaired? Has the government of Guam made the cuts as promised? And most especially, has this legislature put politics before the best interest of the people of Guam? Madam Speaker, as we all ponder these questions I raised, let us all remind ourselves, as members of this legislature, what our responsibilities are. The Guam Legislature is one of three co-equal branches of government with a duty to uphold the separation of powers doctrine, which ensures the checks and balances of this government. I pray that as we as a body will work hard in the weeks and months ahead to restore public trust in this 35th Guam Legislature, and not to repeat what happened these past few days where transparency was not adhered to. As we begin a new year, a fresh start, let us learn from our mistakes. Let us be more proactive instead of reactive, and work on behalf of the people we serve with honesty, transparency, and respect. That being said, Madam Speaker, on behalf of my family and staff, I wish the people of Guam a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. Si Diyos masi.
Buen provecho, Senator Tadagui. Senator Sabina Perez, you are recognized, and then Senator March Taitano.
To do is Masi, Madam Speaker. I just want to give the public a rationale for my vote. I support Bill 181 in its principle. I think it's imperative that our Monumco, including my parents, receive the reparations due to them for the experiences enduring the atrocities wrought by World War II. But let's not forget that it's not true reparations because we are paying it for ourselves. As an elected official chosen by the people of Guam to serve all our people, I have the solemn responsibility to provide accountability in how our people's money is spent. I would be remiss if I didn't feel we lost the opportunity to create a better bill. Had we had more opportunities for discussion, we might have been able to make the changes to the bill to create more accountability, to strike the balance in providing our Monumco the reparations they urgently need and deserve without potentially sacrificing governmental needs of all our people, like public safety and health care. In voting yes for the bill, we trust that our Magahaga will carry out her fiduciary responsibility to create an equitable relationship with the federal government so where we are given the opportunity or the amount that is due in its entirety. I hope in the passing of this bill, the lives of our Monumco are made for the better without jeopardizing or compromising the people of Guam. Si Diyos masi.
Buen provecho, Senator in Paris. Senator March Taitano, you are recognized.
Si Diyos masi, Madam Speaker. To say that just and equitable war claims have been a long time coming is an understatement. It has been 75 long years of being denied equitable consideration. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been paid out to those around us in Alaska, the Philippines, Micronesia, and within the U.S. mainland, and even those from Europe and elsewhere who had holdings in the Philippines. We all perhaps have family that have passed without receiving this recognition for the atrocities that they suffered, the beheadings that they had to watch, the beatings that took place, sometimes people being beaten to death in public, and the raping of the women that took place as well. For those that survived, they had to live their lives with physical and mental scars and much loss to grieve. My grandmother-in-law, Agata Johnston, has scars on her back from a severe lashing when the Japanese authorities suspected that she might know where radio man George Tweed was hiding. She and my mother-in-law, Marion Johnston Taitano, and so many others in our community have passed away without just compensation and without real recognition I know in their hearts it would be important for those remaining few to be recognized by our community, since compensation by the U.S. has been long, long overdue. Suduis Maasi for letting me share.
Buen Pobetsu, Senadora and March Taichno. Anyone else? Senator Therese Talahi, I will recognize you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too would rise just to give some brief remarks at this time regarding our passage of the Bill 181, which is to use government of Guam funds to pay out war claims that have been adjudicated by the Federal War Claims Commission. And we all know that this is we've all been waiting for Congress to pass one final measure to so that its own process that it set up would allow the payments of those war claims. And our congressman has said that he expects this to be done January or December, January. But pending that, Madam Speaker, we have passed now this Bill 181, which would take the funds out of the government of Guam funds before Congress implements their process. Now, I support wholeheartedly and have always supported the prompt payment of war claims. I disagree with the arbitrary cutoffs that have been set in the past war claims tribunals, war claims commissions, by the commission that set up the process we are under right now, and the arbitrary cutoff date that was set in the original version of this bill and the current version of this bill, where it cuts off certain people from being paid their claims. I feel for our retirees in the process that we have gone through locally, who continue to be patient, yet they seem to be drawn in the middle of a political battle between maybe, I don't want to name names, but definitely it's very obvious. It seems to be a political battle between, persons in our congressman's office, in our governor's office, and here in the legislature. Instead of giving the Manamko the feeling that we are united, and we should be united, just as we have been united in the past when we go to Congress and we have demanded war claims. I do not condone what feels like empty promises that have been drawn out for months, and that we stand here without the ability to look at an MOU that has supposedly been drafted or will be drafted or is promised to be drafted. We still have not been able to see that. In denying debate on Bill 181, the legislature has really taken a departure from its own rules, which have embedded in it extra precautions, extra transparency when it comes to bills that impact our finances of the government of Guam. We've put in the rules a higher standard. We've put in extra review. We've created an entire office in the government of Guam called the Office of Finance and Budget to tell us what are the impacts of these bills. We've created a process where we are going to automatically, without motion, go into committee of the whole so that we can discuss those bills and obtain the answers that every senator and the people of Guam are entitled to, so that we can vote informed. And I believe that these types of bills, they are bills that affect the finances of the government. Those are our primary responsibility, Madam Speaker. I pray that when and if the government of Guam implements disbursement of payments for war claims from our current government of Guam funds ahead of the congressional payments of the Section 30 funds that they have set aside, that the government of Guam will do that fairly, that they will do it without error, so that our our claimants, those who survived the war, those who suffered, that they will feel justice that has eluded them for 75 years. There are many who will not feel that, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the people of Guam at this time for their continued patience and for their continued attention to the matters of the government and for their continued input and continued support for the government when we need support, and their continued their criticism when that is in order, Madam Speaker. And I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hope for the government that you deserve in the coming year. Situs Masi, Madam Speaker.
Buen provecho, Senator Terlahi. Anyone else on extension of remarks? If not, Vice Speaker, can you come up?
Speaker Barnes, you are recognized.
Situs Masi, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to rise and share my extensions of remarks this afternoon. And half a day to the listening audience out there. Madam Speaker, over the last year, we have been on a hard-fought journey to finally do right by our Sinas, our World War II survivors. This road has not been an easy journey. Quite frankly, it has been anything but easy. Having spent a year with this dynamic body, I know that each and every one of you are passionate about our elders and would do anything to finally give closure to those who face the atrocities that nobody should endure. Being a leader, and I commend every one of you standing here with me today for your leadership. It means being able to take a leap of faith for our people, make the tough decisions, but also exercise reason and rationale as we make our way to that light at the end of the tunnel. I am a strong proponent of giving credit where credit is due. This idea was shared with me by Mr. Phil Flores. When I heard this, I thought, man, this would be a long shot. Upon doing some brainstorming and working with my staff, Alan, Amanda, Stephanie, Matt, Shirok, and even Mary, I was fortunate to have our Magahaga, our Segundo Magalahi, as well as our legislative secretary and minority leader, stand by my side as I made that commitment to finally close this chapter during our 75th liberation. We are a few months behind schedule, and I will have to live with myself for failing those who have passed in the recent months. But I would like to thank all my colleagues who pushed through and helped me fulfill this commitment. My mother, Ann Munya, Uncle Roman Kanata, Auntie Rose Diaz, Uncle Victor Duenas, the Garridos, Uncle Ben Garrido, Uncle Joe Garrido, even Auntie Beck and Uncle Tsu, Auntie Mary Sablon, Auntie Susie Arceo, Uncle Ben Arceo, and even Armen Hoban, like Tristan Quintanilla. Undonkulo na si Diyos Masi for telling me to keep my head up high and keep fighting. Throughout this entire journey, there have been times where, given the political climate, the attack ads, it really would have made sense just to give up. Si Diyos Maasi, thank you for reiterating that we are elected to fight the good fight. Senator Regine Bisco-Lee and the COR Director, Ms. Mary Maravilla, thank you for referring this bill expeditiously. Senator Joseph Augustine, as well as the Office of Finance and Budget and your committee staff, thank you for expeditiously holding a hearing and filing its committee report. Senators, thank you all for placing this bill on the agenda back in August. Throughout this whole process, I appreciate the collective efforts of, yes, Madam Clerk, Ms. Renee Meno, and the entire clerk staff, our chief counsel, Ms. Ana Wampat Bora, and the entire legal bureau, Mr. Carlo Branch, the governor's fiscal team, the chief of staff, for working closely with our team so that we can get to where we are at today. While we did what we could within reason by prioritizing our living survivors, I still hope for and support the passage of H.R. 1365 so that all descendants of our World War II survivors can receive their claim. Congressman St. Nicholas, I know we've been at odds on a slew of things, but I know that we both share one thing in common. Our heart is for the people of Guam. I have to believe, and I know that you will keep fighting for the passage of H.R. 1365. And I sincerely pray that by January, when you come to this chamber, you will be able to report back some positive news. I'm very hopeful. As it is the holiday season, and on behalf of my husband, Jake, and I, and of course, the family of the late Bill and Ann Munoz children and grandchildren, I want to say from our family to yours, Merry Christmas, a very special Merry Christmas, and a blessed Happy New Year, a very prosperous New Year for everyone here on our beautiful island of Guam. Undangkulo na si Diyos Masi, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak as a public servant to our people, but more importantly, to be the carrier, to try and close this chapter for our survivors who truly had to suffer the atrocities of World War II. Si Diyos ang benedisi ham sa todos, datlods and sainamasi.
Thank you, Speaker Barnes.
Majority Leader, Vice Speaker Nelson, you are recognized at this time.
Jesus Masi, Speaker, we have exhausted all items on the session agenda. I make a motion to adjourn the session subject to the call of the Speaker.
On the motion to adjourn this session, subject to the call of the Speaker, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. We are adjourned, colleagues. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.